Hey, good morning. We're here at Miss Gwen Cushing's house. This is a repairability attempt for this shingle right here. We don't have an exact match right here, but as you can see right here in this shingle right here, you can see where that is a wind damaged shingle. And show you guys the tools that I'll be using today. Using that all-in-one approved roof tool, and that is a roof snake for separating and installing nails, a precision nail puller for those hard to get nails, a hammer, and regular roofing nails. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the adhesive on these shingles directly above the damaged shingle, just to find out. Look, and so, you know, I'm going to be told that, hey, I need to be more careful, you know, by the adjuster. And so on the next ones, I'm just going to be as careful as I can. And we're just going to
sounds like it's tearing.
It's tearing pretty bad. Yeah. For some reason, these red roofs, we call them red roofs, but this is like a reddish brown, are the worst with the mastic adhesive. Something about the way the sealant mixes with the sun and the way that the adhesive sticks super hard. So if you can see here, we have our area of repair. If we can get, actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep trying to separate the rest of these, because we're probably going to run into some issues here with the separation. Now notice I'm not being extremely rough, using just enough force to be able to separate this shingle. And this tool is actually designed to do this. This one is already broken. That was not me. Okay, so we should have all the shingles in our area of repair. They're gonna have to be nails pulled out from them. They should all be loose, and we're just gonna double, triple check. Let's get an overview, just showing the condition of these shingles. You can see some of them have some, looks like maybe some tool marks or something going on with those. This one's actually not separated all the way. Let me go ahead and show me this one right quick. This one right here, it's in really bad condition. Get it from the top. That's not good. That is not good. Okay, all right, one more time. Let's get an overview so that you guys can see, starting here, and you can see how this one's all pretty torn up right here at the bottom. You can see how this one's got a good sized crack in it. You can see where that one's not going to get touched, but you can see clearly here with the wind damage. You can see a little spot right here. Other than that, though, you know, the shingles are not, the matting's not broken in the spot where we would be pulling the nails out. So I'm just gonna get carefully, because this one's already pretty jacked up. You know, just lift it just enough to examine underneath, and you can see where this is pretty bad. I'm hoping that the rest aren't like this, but this was pre-existing right here. And just off of that simple lifting motion, I'm gonna give it a couple taps, and we'll look at just the top right there. That one's actually pretty damaged, pretty bad, prior to, and there wasn't a nail to pull out. Let's go to the next one. Let's get a before that. Yep. All right, I'm gonna lift just slightly, just enough to be able to gently grab this nail with this nail puller, right? I had an adjuster tell me one time, that's a pry bar, you're not supposed to use that. Well, you got two options when it comes to pulling nails on shingles. The first option is this option right here, and you can see how I tap the hammer just so it creates a space, and I'm able to just gently work that nail out. The second option is to come in underneath and pop it from underneath. A lot of the times that ends up pulling through, and you can see, and I'm just gonna, you can see where gravity's kind of hanging on to a lot of these granules here. You can see where that fiberglass matting is cracked, it's broken. It's no longer functioning like it should. Let's go on to the next one, get a good before that. See where it has a small mark right here, existing. And just like before, gently tap to get under this nail. And you can see that happening in live time. Up at the top where that point of stress is at. You can see where those granules are dancing around. And that's from that fiberglass matting being broken. It is getting hot out here. So temperature shouldn't be an issue. And you can see where gravity was hanging onto those shingles right there at the top where that fiberglass matting is broken. It's cracked. On to the next one. Get a good before that, right? And we're gonna just make sure there's no nails in that. Give it a couple taps, just like in the last one. You can see along the top of the shingle up here. You can see where that fiberglass matting is cracked. It's broken just from that simple lifting motion. Let's go on to the next one. Get a good before that. All right, you can see where it's got an existing, maybe a couple thermal cracks throughout here. As I just lift the shingle to be able to pull this nail out. Gently start it. All right, give it a couple taps. You can see where these granules are dancing around up at the top. You can see where this fiberglass matting is cracked. It's broken. It's in pretty bad shape right there. On to the next one. Let's get a good before. All right, we'll lift just slightly. Just enough to be able to grab that nail, pull it out, give it a couple taps to see what gravity's hanging onto. Then you can see pretty clearly up here at the top of the shingle, you can see where that fiberglass matting is cracked. It's broken as well. We'll go on to the next one. Get a good before, and has some existing issues right here. We're gonna lift it just slightly, be able to dig these nails out, and there's actually 3 right here. Oh, and you can see that happening in live time as these granules are dancing around up there on that point of stress. Gravity's kind of holding them in place, but that's because the fiberglass matting is actually broken. See, I'm not lifting up extremely hard on these shingles, only about 45 degrees or so, just enough to be able to stick my tool in there and work up the nail heads. And give that a couple good taps. And you can see up at the top of this shingle, you can see where that fiberglass matting is cracked, it's broken as well. Now it should just be pretty easy, and that's out with the old and in with the new. So we're just gonna go ahead and gently work the shingle out. You can see that the mat transfer is really, really bad here. See on this side, there was already some issues over there, but on this side, you can also see where there's a huge chunk missing right here. And you can see all the way throughout, you can see where the matting, you can see the fiberglass right here. You see all these darker spots. It's actually the matting from underneath the shingle above. You can see up underneath here as well. You can see where this mat transfer is really bad. You can see the patch right here of the matting, and that's from the shingle above. And that's just from that mastic adhesive being so strong that it's causing the matting from the shingles directly above where the adhesive is stuck to. It's causing that matting just to rip and just separating the shingles. So I'm gonna do my best right here to just slide the shingle in. Easy peasy, not an exact match, but that's okay. All right, everywhere we pulled the nail out, we're gonna be putting a nail back in. Each hammer blow, you can see these granules dancing around on the shingles from where the fiberglass matting is actually cracked, it's broken, it's ripped. That mat transfer is no good, guys. These shingles will never seal again, even with the beaded caulk, because of that inconsistency in the thickness of the shingle, because the matting's ripped from underneath. It also creates areas and patches where the water can seep through underneath these shingles and get under the decking. If I was doing this repair for somebody, I'd literally have to keep, especially as widespread as the scope of work is on the roof, with 15 individual shingles scattered throughout the roof. I would literally have to keep going down to get another course, another course, another course, so on and so forth. As these shingles are just ripping apart with the mastic adhesive, causing that mat transfer to happen. And the brittleness is also a factor, as you can see on the top of these shingles where that fiberglass matting is cracked, is broken. Yeah, so the next 15-mile-an-hour wind that comes by here, these shingles are going to be missing. So as a contractor, we can't put our name on something like this. You can see we did switch out the one damaged shingle, but at the cost of 7 other ones. You can see pretty clearly up at the top of those where those are all damaged. You can see where the mat transfer happened, where that mastic adhesive is so strong it's just ripping the shingles apart. This repairability attempt has failed. We would ask that Allstate wouldn't put their name on a scope like this. Thank you very much.